Hello guys, this is Arbz. Today we have an exciting game again, played by Capablanca against Del Monte in 1901. We know that Capablanca is the human machine on that time because he is the first one like an expert in endgame. Also, Capablanca is good in simplification, the master of positional play. But this game is he's playing for an initiative. You cannot be an expert in positional play once you are also weak in tactics, like Tigran Petrosyan, if you know him. So let's start. Capablanca played e4, opponent played c5, the Sicilian defense, d4, c takes d4, knight f3. Okay. In the game here, uh, black played e5. This is a tricky move for black. Obviously, this pawn on e5 protects t4. Then if you take this pawn on e5, can you find a double attack here? Yes, queen to a5 check, it attacks the king and the knight. So that e5 is a trap. Capablanca played c3. See? The idea of white here is giving up a pawn for an initiative. Knight c6. You can take the pawn if you want. Then white will develop another piece here. And the pawn on e5 is hanging again. So let's go back. Knight c6, c takes d4, bishop b4 check. Okay. Bishop d2, blocking the check. You can take the bishop, queen takes, you can take this, the knight takes d4, and still white has the advantage. He is lead in development, and when we talk about pawn structure, what happened is now black has a three pawn islands. Technically, white has only two pawn islands. White has a better structure, lead in development, so it means this is better for white. And black has, aside from that, black has weakness on d6, right? So white can exploit that later in the game. So after bishop d2, black played queen e7. Now, can you find the move of Capablanca as white? The move, we call this space advantage, d5. Knight t8, another development of pieces, bishop to d3. Here, black trade the bishop. Bishop takes d2, knight takes d2, d6. Now you need to be alert with this. d6 and e5 are on the dark squares. It means light squares are weak for the black, but still there is a bishop here that protects the light squares, so that would be okay. Capablanca played rook c1 and a6. This is a mistake. Every pawn move, you need to adjust your plan here because the pawn, once it moves, that is a committal move. You cannot move it backward, right? So you need to be alert with this. If we try to go back, the pawn is on a7, it protects b6, this pawn protects this squares. Now it plays a6, it weakens b6, a square that cannot be protected by a pawn, and once you can exploit that square, then that could be a permanent weakness. Knight to c4. Now this knight would occupy the b6 weakness. Bishop d7, knight b6, rook b8, queen to c2. Okay. Uh, Domination of c file. Capablanca is master of controlling file. This is type of a positional technique. Bishop g4. So it looks like Black wants to attack the knight, breaking your pawn structure, right? But Capablanca noticed that this bishop protect the light squares, okay? And he has a good tactics here. Can you find the best move for white? He played h3, attacking the bishop, allowing the bishop to take the knight. But before recapturing the bishop, Capablanca has an excellent tactics. We call this intermediate move, queen to a4 check. That is force. If you move the king, there's knight d7, the knight takes b8. White is winning. Black lose a lot of material here. Uh, so now, since the bishop cannot move back because it captures the knight in the game, black blocked with his knight, then d takes c6. You would notice that the bishop still on f3 is hanging, right? Queen c7. Because if you move the bishop, there is a discovery. Can you find it? c7. Queen attacks the king. The pawn attacks the rook on b8. So the queen blocks, but now it loses his queen. After c takes b7, discovered check, and the rook attacks the queen. So there's discovered check, also there is a discovered attack. King f8, then rook takes a7. After this move, black resigned the game. So we used to know that Capablanca is good in positional play, but he is an expert also in attacking play. You cannot be an expert in positional play once you have no idea of how to play tactically. So again guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and have a good day. Bye bye.